Carter has been making music since he was 7 years old. He was a preteen pop star in the era of preteen pop stars. He's had a lot of ups and downs over the years, many of which made headlines, but now he is focusing on this new chapter, new music with his album, Love.
Look at you falling.
We haven't had a full album from him since 15 years ago. Now this is a big deal for him.
It's a really exciting time. I took a good year and a half, 2 years almost to make this project, and I've been producing music myself for the last 10 years. So the album started off more so kind of like a diary type of thing. I never thought it would get to this point.
Aaron's in a really great place now, but he definitely battled through one of the toughest years.
One of the biggest battles he faced this past year is with his health issues.
In his late teens, Aaron was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia, so he's had existing stomach issues for a lot of his life, and he also says he stops eating when he's stressed.
There was a lot of stress and difficulties that piled up over the year, and it manifested itself in an eating disorder. He just stopped eating.
I didn't go to the doctor for 10 years, and then I kind of just was self-diagnosing myself, okay, I'm dying, this is it. And finally had the courage to go to the doctor, but it ended up being on a TV show.
You know that you're in danger. Forget the entertainment business, forget that.
I know that,
Okay, good.
I know that.
Good, because
that's why I came to you.
Good.
And I came to the doctors. Whoa, my God. Putting all of that out there, and then it's just very personal.
He says at his lowest, he was only 115 pounds, and he got a lot of hate on Instagram, on Twitter.
I just get made fun of a lot for how I look.
How do you look?
I'm gaunt and I'm skinny.
People accused him of being on coke and using this and using that, and he just wanted to set the record straight and say, I am going through a lot. You have no idea what it's like to be in my shoes. You
can get inside of your head, and your head can affect the way the rest of your body is. I mean, I started getting really stressed out about things like my relationship or the expectations people have for me, and then I just, stopped eating, and I just didn't have an appetite.
In July last year, Aaron was arrested for a DUI, and that was a huge wake-up call for him. He knew then that he needed to get professional help.
I definitely felt like I hit a rock bottom personally and emotionally, and that's when I thought, this is a time for me to really go take some time and do some self-healing. My therapist and all the people there at the treatment center were very instrumental and definitely wanted me to dig deeper, where I found myself repeating the same things over and over. But after 2 months of doing it, it was really healthy for me. I learned a lot about myself. I also learned a lot about other people.
In therapy, Aaron was really able to dig deep and realize how issues within his family life have manifested themselves and affected him, namely his sister's death in 2012, as well as his father's death last year.
Once I lost my father, I didn't realize the impact it had on my life, and the impact I had, on the relationship with my father. But the best thing I can take from it is that I had good relationships with them all the way up until, they weren't here anymore.
The Carter family has been in the spotlight for decades, and that is something that has taken a toll on them individually and as a unit. Aaron talks about how fame changed them, and it kind of changed the dynamic.
I can see it being easy for someone who's not in the industry to say that there's all this pressure, but there's pressure with everybody in each person's life, so there's always going to be pressure. So it's just about how you deal with it and how you're able to cope with it. I mean, for me, there was a lot of different things that happened, but who knows? Maybe it wasn't the industry, maybe it was just the family dynamic.
When he went to therapy, Aaron discovered that he's dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, and he says it's definitely a daily struggle for him.
I'm dealing with it as it happens, and I find myself getting into those moments where like randomly I just want to cry, or just like, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy. But then I think about all the good things that I have in my life, and that, you know, deters and changes my way of thinking into a positive way of thinking. It's 10 years I went with everybody denying me, every label turning their back on me, people making fun of me, calling me a super duper drug addict, or saying, you know, they thought I was dead.
It's so refreshing to see how open and honest he was about what he gained from therapy and how it's made him a better man.
I went from 115 pounds to 160 pounds after being there for 2 months. It was crazy. It was gaining like a pound every day. So it was amazing to see what happened when I just took some time off for myself and just chilled out and you know, looked around and found ways to appreciate life. You just really have to apply yourselves and find out what you're truly passionate about and focus on it. And that's what I did even with this music that I have now.
Aaron's album, Love, is very personal. It's about 2 specific relationships that he's been through. The most recent breakup was with Madison Parker, who he was engaged to last summer. And he says today he's still healing from that relationship.
The first song that we did was Fool's Gold. It was really awesome because all the writers and people that were with me, they really embodied my stories and what I wanted to talk about. Not feeling loved, going through insecurities, going through codependency issues, going through heartbreak, you know, back and forth, breaking up, you know.
Aaron is ever evolving, and he is so committed to music, even more so now. He looks back on his old work with fondness, and he says, that's where I was then. But he has taken on so many different new hats in the music industry. He produced much of this album with a producing partner. This is the Aaron Carter that he wants people to know now.
I've really applied myself to learning, making music, investing in it. I've spent a lot of my money on music gear and all that stuff, and learning and hiring engineers to teach me all these kind of things, and going from having engineers to me becoming the engineer myself. My music now, it's a lot more identifiable. I can perform it so much more and really have a connection with it. And I remember finding myself like 15, 16 years old performing my old songs and just not really feeling it anymore.
When Aaron released a new song last year, it made it into the top 40 on radio, which was monumental for him. He said he's never been someone who's radio friendly, and to see that come to fruition was a really big deal for him.
It's 10 years I went with everybody denying me, every label turning their back on me, people making fun of me, calling me a super duper drug addict, or saying, you know, they thought I was dead. I've been bullied by the people in my own industry, and they'll never take responsibility for it, but it's okay. I have millions and millions of streams, something really amazing to be, you know, proud of, and you know, that was a big feat for me.
Aaron made headlines last year when he came out as bisexual. He's never opened up about it, but he said he just wanted to be honest with his fans, and he's received a ton of support. He has not been on any new dates in months, and he doesn't see himself getting into a relationship for at least a year.
I have a lot of learning to do, so I want to get to a place where I'm never going to have it all figured out. You know, any relationship is never going to be easy.
Aaron is focused on his fans and being there for them and being really relatable to them, and he just is. He's saying he doesn't want to be in a relationship right now, and that's something that, you know, a lot of fans can identify with.
You can find happiness in a lot of other things in your life. There's a lot of people, a lot of my fans, people out there that might not be in a relationship, you know, or might, you know, find somebody that they can be in love with and spend the rest of their life with. So I want lots of kids, lots of stability, lots of happiness and laughter and learning and having fun. I think it's gonna be good, but it's not right now.
Aaron Carter has been through a lot in his years within the music industry, but he is sure that every single obstacle, that every issue he's been through in the public eye has given him more wisdom and made him a stronger person.
The biggest things that I learned about myself was that I can be happy. That saying no is okay. I'm a people pleaser. That's what I grew up doing. So as a super young little kid, being 7 years old, if I could do a cartwheel in front of you and make you happy and please, I would do that. So I think being a people pleaser is something that I'm not participating anymore. I am an entertainer, but there's a time and a place for that. It's a great time to be alive, a great time to be promoting new music. My first album after 15 years, this means more to me than anybody else. I feel like I have this one passion, this one dream, and that's to be a successful entertainer. And it's a roller coaster ride. It's up and down, but that's okay, and that's my life. I encourage people to, if you feel even just the smallest little inclination that you have an issue, do something about it, speak up, talk about it. There are times when I don't want to talk about this topic, but then there are times like right now where I feel comfortable talking about it. And that changes with the day as each day changes, and I'm happy that I came out on the other side.